Dude, 8,000 days is crazy. I mean, I make videos on Sneaky Sasquatch and I'm only on like day 2,000 maybe. Like I don't actually know. I think it's 2,000. Okay, I do want to actually go over the sneak peeks since usually they are posted on the Reddit. So this is the first sneak peek. I mean, I'm not going in chronological order, but this is Sasquatch in front of the clothing store and he has a fire hose completely spraying it in the opposite direction. Now, the first thing I notice here is Sasquatch has no hunger, as you can see in the top. He's at least out by 3 or 4 hunger bars, but also there's a fire meter. So I don't know if that's the amount of fire in the building or the amount of heat that Sasquatch can take. Also, we can see we need to use the fire hydrant, which I've actually disabled in my primary save file. So maybe that will cause some accidents that might be kind of funny when the update finally comes out and I can record about it. Alright, so this is the next sneak peek, and this is definitely in the testing room. It just says a fire hydrant. I wonder what that's for. And I already kind of went over the other stuff. Now, the interesting thing about this image is that you can actually, like, it's not, like, this is the hose when it's not attached to the fire hydrant, which is just, I mean, it looks like a hose, but it also is kind of funny because it doesn't look like there's a nozzle. It just looks like there's 2 holes at the end of the tube. So, I mean, I don't really know how fire hydrant hoses look compared to, like, garden hoses, but usually on garden hoses, there's some kind of nozzle or something, and I feel like, I don't know, it just looks like, it looks kind of silly. So, this is the third image that I'm going to be showing you guys, and as you can see, it's just Sasquatch looking at a fire, like very casually. As you can see, there's also a button to use the hose. Sasquatch isn't holding it, which is kind of confusing because he's holding another hose and there's a hose already attached to the fire hydrant, which makes me wonder if there's going to be like a fire in a tree and then a fire somewhere else and you have to like run to different places, if it's going to be more of like a high paced thing you have to do in Sneaky Sasquatch, because even the hospital stuff, it's timed, but there's a lot of time. And so I'm wondering if it's going to be higher stakes, like maybe if a tree burns down, it causes your reputation to go down and then the rangers don't like you or something. That would be kind of interesting. From this image, you can't really get anything like that out of it. It's just kind of weird that he's holding a fire hose, and there's also the option to use a different fire hose. But anyway, let's go on to the next image. Okay, so as you can see in that video, it was just Sasquatch running, breaking down a door. He was breaking down the door, and you can see there's a button to use an axe to break down a door. Now, what is kind of funny is that when he breaks the door, he just opens the door. The door doesn't like fall over. You don't have to run over the fallen door. It's just, you just break the lock basically, which is like, at that point, why is the pharmacist not either scared or calling the cops on you for breaking the door down? There's also no fire, which means we're gonna have access to an axe regardless of whether or not there's an emergency, which is kind of funny. So I wonder if we're gonna be able to abuse that. And like, I'm sure there's going to be some kind of story requirement, because in order to do the hospital, I'm pretty sure you had to be like mayor or something. But the reason why I'm asking that is because if you don't have a requirement like that, then there would be situations where you could abuse the crap out of this. Imagine if you had an axe in the first story and like you could just break down the cabin door, because in the first storyline, before you progress in the game, the cabin that you have in the ski area, it has like basically no door. You can't get in. But if you had an axe, you could just break in. And I mean, I don't know if that would actually work, but there'd be a lot of really funny glitches that would happen if there's no story requirement or progression requirement. So yeah, that's going to be kind of interesting. I would definitely recommend, if you are watching this and you do not have all 4 stories complete, do all 4 stories because it's going to help. It's going to help you a lot in the next updates. I say updates because multiplayer is also coming out, and I assume there's also going to be some barrier to entry with multiplayer because they probably don't want people who don't know how to play the game to play multiplayer. It would just make a less fun experience for those people. So maybe you have to beat the first story and then you unlock multiplayer, that kind of thing. Because the first story is a lot of just like learning the different events. So it would make sense in my head, but who knows? All I would recommend is that you beat all 4 stories so you can access at least the fire department. Because I know for the hospital, you have to have all 4 stories to do everything. So it's a basic requirement for this type of stuff. On to the next sneak peek though. This is another video one. I don't think it has sound, so I'm gonna watch this again. It's just him standing there, I guess. It's kind of like how it would look in the game. I like the heat wave effect. I like how fast the fire is moving. It feels real to some extent. Like there's depth to the scene, which I really like, and the coloring. I think it looks really cool. What I will notice is that there's like burn marks on the floor, so I wonder if the store is going to get damaged. Now, what some people haven't talked about at all is somebody has to start these fires, right? So, like, how does a fire start inside of a car dealership? Like, is it somebody trying to fuel the car up and then they spill gasoline or something? That also brings me to a different point, which is, can we start fires and then like put the fire out, but maybe not get money because we're the ones who started it? Similar to how you can break somebody's leg in the game and then not get paid for fixing it because you're the one who broke it. So I wonder if that's going to be a thing we can do in the game, because starting fires will be so funny. Although again, if they have a system where it's like your reputation with the Rangers goes down, that kind of thing, then, that would kind of make sense. But I want to be an arsonist. I think it'd be fun. I mean, Sneaky Sasquatch is basically GTA 6, so yeah, let's go on to the next sneak peek. This one's small, but it looks like Sasquatch is running. I mean, his leg is kind of skewed, but he's running, it looks like, or kneeling, and he has the hose. Once again, he's not spraying the hose in the right direction, which makes me think maybe, like, I don't know how this is going to work in the game, but maybe it's not like a direct you spray the water on the fire. Maybe it's like a mini game where like you spray in a certain area and you have to like kind of clear out the area, because Sneaky Sasquatch, there's not a lot of things where you are facing the camera, if you know what I mean. Like when you're fishing, you're basically always fishing to the side. There's not really a scenario where Sasquatch is going to be looking at you and then fishing. It's a weird thing to try and explain, but a lot of things in Sneaky Sasquatch are moving left to right, not up, and not on the z-axis, if you know what I mean. It's not a 3D game. So in that sense, this kind of makes sense, but it's still kind of weird the fire isn't to the right or to the left and he's spraying it. Also, one more thing to notice is that there's actually burn marks behind him, which would indicate that maybe a tree burned down. Like maybe he put out a fire, but the tree burned down or something. And there's also more marks closer to the fire. So I'm kind of curious how this is going to impact the campground, and if maybe this is going to lead into like another story, or maybe this leads into multiplayer where you need to hire a bunch of Sasquatches to help repair the park or something. I don't know. It's going to be very interesting what the developers decide to do with the next few updates. On to the next sneak peek though. Okay, so the next sneak peek is actually about multiplayer, and as you can see, Gert Johnny, sorry, says, I've got all the proof right here, hold on, and then he screenshots multiplayer. This could easily be photoshopped. I'm assuming it's not photoshopped though, because like why would it be? Obviously they have other proof that multiplayer is coming. There's a video I'm going to show you guys later where there's a bunch of Sasquatches running around, and that is basically proof of concept at the very least where multiplayer is able to be used. I am very excited for multiplayer because I want to make videos with other sneaky Sasquatch people, like Spence the Fence, even Stanton. I haven't talked to him at all, but if he wants to do something when multiplayer comes out, that'd be insane. That'd be really, really fun. And yeah, so I mean, this is very basic as far as sneak peeks go, but let's go on to the next one. Okay, so the next one is an emoji. It's like an emote. And this one's actually really cool because this probably isn't the only emote. And because if you guys don't know, Apple does not allow chat features in their games, which means the only way to communicate with other players is voice chat or, as you can see, emotes. Now, I don't think Sneaky Sasquatch is going to add a voice chat feature. I mean, they haven't even linked directly from the game to the Discord, so that wouldn't really make sense, but you can definitely join a Discord call with somebody and then play, and these emotes are kind of funny, so I like them. I realize I'm going in reverse order, so the last sneak peek I'm going to go over is just this one from a very long time ago. This is from 2020, like November of 2023, but Huey, want to end on a frame of Huey, so subscribe if you enjoyed this Reddit video. I will be doing one every week, so yeah, subscribe, turn on notifications. There's a lot of videos coming in July. Can't guarantee anything about this many videos in August, but there's going to be a lot of videos in July, so consider subscribing. I love you guys, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.